There shouldn't be any problems for any houses or high-rise flats in the area because most of them are a few hundred metres away. But if smoke is headed in your direction, police are recommending just keep your windows shut, don't use your air conditioning, and they do say that the smoke is not toxic. Now, we've just heard that detectives have now joined the investigation into the cause of the blaze, which is not yet known.
Thank you, Max. Max Futcher reporting live from Lombard's fire scene in Flemington.
A huge fire at a Melbourne paper warehouse is estimated to have left a damage bill of around $20 million, one of the biggest fires in the city for years. It also destroyed an indoor rock climbing centre, a pistol range and a centre for disabled teenagers.
The blaze began after midnight and was still burning when the 70 staff arrived for work this morning. It took 96 firefighters 2 hours to bring the flames under control. The warehouse stocked party supplies and paper goods, which fueled the inferno.
The fire was very well involved when we first arrived on scene. We've been hampered by a lack of water supply.
When fire trucks arrived, they immediately called for more backup. A fire commander was also lifted above the factory to look for hotspots. Owner Claude Lombard has already estimated $20 million worth of damage to his head office in what has been described as one of Melbourne's largest fires.
It really is a tragedy. We will rally and we will use our branches in other states.
And with 7 weeks until Christmas, Lombards have lost their warehouse and their stock. But after 37 years in the business, the company planned to rebuild. But it's not only the factory that has been affected. The 8,000 square metre premises also housed indoor rock climbing, a pistol range and centre for teens with disabilities. All have been destroyed.
We don't have it anymore. It's a great loss to the school. It's something that we valued highly.
The only bright note was that firefighters managed to save Harry the cockatoo, who had been with the family for 20 years.
He was a bit angry, but no, he didn't get a nip in, but I think he was pretty keen to.
There were concerns about smoke drifting in the direction of the nearby Royal Children's Hospital, but no injuries from the fire have been reported. While the warehouse has smoke detectors, it appears no sprinklers were installed. Arson Squad detectives have sealed the area and begun their investigation.
Live from the studios of 7 Melbourne, Peter Mitchell with 7 News.
First tonight, the huge Melbourne factory blaze that caused an estimated $25 million damage. The fire's been described as one of the city's biggest. It destroyed the landmark headquarters of paper company Lombard's and engulfed a number of other buildings. As Claire Brady reports, investigators still don't know what caused the fire.
40 years of hard work was destroyed in hours. Fueled by tons of paper and plastics, it was an incredible battle for the 100 firefighters trying to contain the blaze. Its intensity even overwhelmed the most basic firefighting necessity, water.
We've been hampered by a lack of water supply, and whilst we've been able to save portions of the building, the damage has been severe.
Toxic clouds billowed into the air, fueled by flames that took almost 3 hours to subdue. Since 1967, Lombard's has been a symbol of business success on Mount Alexander Road. Starting out of a small garage, it became a major paper product supplier. This morning, it didn't stand a chance against the blaze.
I'm not a Buddhist, but they say nothing lasts forever. It's a bit of a tragedy, and it really is a tragedy. We've been working for 40 years and we've never had any disaster like this before. But we're in business to stay in business.
Owner Claude Lombard watched his family's dream go up in smoke from 1 in the morning.
I'm being very flippant about it. It's going to be a hard yakka. I'm sure it'll hit me later on.
Rowan Cribben, who sleeps in an office of the adjacent car yard, woke to the flames.
It's unreal. I'm shaking a bit.
He woke his friend Steve Major asleep in a caravan next door.
50 metres in the air. It's actually like a great ocean wave.
Also saved from the blaze, Harry the Cocky. He's been a cheery mascot at Lombard's for 20 years.
No, he was a bit angry, but no, he didn't get a nip in.
But as the smoke cleared, the other business casualties began to pile up. George Hakely's neighbouring pistol range and rock climbing business, featured on 7 Sunrise only 48 hours ago, is now in ruins and his 25 staff out of work.
Quite incredible to see because it's just all melted inside and the roof's caved in.
The special school annex was destroyed and its students will have to look for a new home. Traffic was diverted toll-free onto CityLink and trams stopped all day. The fire is expected to burn well into the weekend, then the clean-up will begin, with owners assessing what, if anything, has survived.
It's still quite deep within the building and very dangerous to get firefighters too near.
The Premier came in person to see the damage firsthand.
It's one of the worst fires we've had in the urban area of Melbourne on record. And of course I'm here to say that the state government will assist where it can. 80
staff were left wondering about their future, but have been buoyed by Victoria's generosity.
The support that people have rung up, I mean, the phone hasn't stopped all morning. Warehouses, money, buildings, distribution, anything we want. It has been unbelievable.
Claire Brady, 7 News.
And the fire continues to smoulder tonight. And to tell us more, we're joined now by Assistant Chief Fire Officer Alan Quinton at the scene. Good evening to you, Alan.
Good evening, Peter.
This fire's been burning for some 17 hours. How much longer will it be before you can get to the seat of the blaze?
It's going to take a good week to fully extinguish the fire, Peter. The fire's deep-seated and we've got heavy equipment in to remove the roof of the structure, and you probably see it in behind me at the moment.
Well, we can see that the fire is causing Friday evening traffic headaches for commuters. That's obviously going to continue.
It will for the remainder of tonight. We're hoping to have the road cleared sometime tomorrow morning. At this point in time, with the high winds that we've got at the moment, we're concerned with the roofing iron potentially coming off and causing traffic problems.
OK, thanks very much, Alan. Alan Quinton from the MFB.
This is National 9 News with Peter Hitchener.
The fire, which destroyed a Flemington paper factory overnight, will take several days to be fully extinguished. The blaze at the Lombard's warehouse in Mount Alexander Road is one of Melbourne's biggest, with damage estimated at $20 million. Mia Greaves has this report.
It took 96 firefighters 2 hours to bring the flames under control. The warehouse contained party supplies and paper goods, which fueled the inferno.
By the time firefighters got here, it was well alight. It was rapidly spreading through the building, and the best they could do was stop it from destroying the car yard.
33 fire trucks were initially hampered by a lack of water, so a fire commander was lifted above the factory to help direct the crews. 70 staff arrived to see the premises. Owner Claude Lombard estimates damage at $20 million.
It's a disaster. We're at 25% of the paper industry because we supply so many chains with their paper bags and cups and serviettes and things.
And with 7 weeks until Christmas, Lombards have lost their warehouse and all of their stock. But after 37 years in the business, the family have promised to rebuild.
And the state government has offered to help.
We will do everything we can, and we'll have someone contacting Claude today.
It's not only the factory that's affected. The 8,000 square metre building also housed indoor rock climbing, a pistol range and workshop for teens with disabilities. All have been destroyed. The only bright note was that firefighters grabbed Mr. Lombard's souvenir Muhammad Ali glove. They also cut a hole in the showroom wall and rescued 40 birds from an internal aviary, including Harry the cockatoo.
He was a bit angry, but no, he didn't get a nip in, but I think he was pretty keen to.
No injuries have been reported, but there were early concerns about smoke drifting towards the Royal Children's Hospital. While the warehouse had smoke detectors, it appears no sprinklers were installed. Arson Squad detectives have sealed the area and begun their investigation. Mia Greaves, National 9 News.
Back home, the damage bill from one of Melbourne's biggest fires in recent years is expected to top $20 million. The fire started at the Lombard paper factory in Flemington in the early hours of this morning. As Guy Stainer reports, the fire extensively damaged the factory and 2 adjoining businesses.
A fire in a paper factory sounds ominous, and so it proved when at 1 o'clock in the morning, fire broke out at Lombard's in Flemington. The factory didn't have a sprinkler system, and the blaze quickly spread to an indoor rock climbing centre and a shooting range which housed ammunition. Huge plumes of smoke billowed into the air as 34 fire trucks and almost 100 firefighters needed 2 hours to bring the inferno under control.
It's one of the biggest fires we've had in Melbourne for some time.
Lombard's offices and a party supplies business were saved, but at daybreak the full extent of the damage was plain to see. The smouldering ruins sent a large smoke cloud drifting towards the city. The owner of the business says Lombard will rebuild.
It is a major, major disaster. We will rally very quickly from this, but it's between $15 and $20 million. It's a lot of money, a lot of stock.
A local special school has also suffered. The school ran a work experience program at the factory.
We had a lot of equipment and things in there, but it's the program that's really been a big loss for us.
But there was some good news. Firefighters were able to rescue several canaries and sulphur-crested Harry from the burning building.
He was quite distressed, yeah, as you can imagine.
The arson squad is investigating and firefighters will monitor the ruins for several days. Guy Stainer, ABC News, Melbourne.
10's Late News with Sandra Sully.
A landmark has been destroyed in one of Melbourne's biggest ever blazes. The $25 million inferno razing a famous paper factory, leaving staff devastated.
Melbourne's brigade of firefighters was a mismatch against flames large enough to light up a suburb. The sign says largest party shops in the universe, and this is one of the city's biggest ever blazes. The destruction of a warehouse stocked chock-a-block with paper and plastic burned a hole in the owners' hearts. 4 decades of family toil engulfed in a spectacular inferno. Dozens of hoses couldn't save the contents, which included tons of Christmas stock about to be delivered to retail outlets and interstate branches. Neighbouring major hospitals were told to close their windows to choking plumes. The damage bill is a monster.
It probably hasn't sunk in yet. It is a disaster without any adjectives before it.
The silver lining came in the form of a ruffled cockatoo who's been with the Lombards for 2 decades and was rescued.
I said, "Where's the cockatoo, Harry?" They said, "Oh, he's still here." They cut a hole in the wall, we rolled the roller door up, pulled him out and then pulled his cage out, and he's 100%.
Lombard has a 20% stake of Australia's paper industry.
We've had nearly 38 years of growth, and we're opening 3 new shops in the next 12 weeks, and all the opening stock had been picked and was ready to dispatch on Monday. All from here. The show will go on. It's a tragedy. The family is very upset, but we're very strong and very resilient people, and we've been around for a long time.
Paul Kennedy, 10 News.
First at 5, 10 News with Natasha Belling.
Tonight, frenetic.
An electrical fault is being blamed for the $20 million blaze that destroyed the Lombard paper factory last Friday. As the building continues to smoulder, managers are playing down fears of asbestos.
A burnt-out shell is all that remains of one of the country's biggest paper factories. It's still too dangerous for demolition work, embers smouldering 5 days after the devastating blaze. Flames shot 30 metres in the air on Friday as tons of Christmas stock fuelled one of the city's biggest fires. Fire alarms alerted emergency services, however there were no sprinklers installed inside the factory. Harry the cockatoo was pulled to safety, and today his friend Parrot, who went missing in the mayhem, returned to its roost. Asbestos has been found in the pipes, but the construction union says rumours of an industrial dispute are unfounded.
In fact, the union have said that they're quite happy that things should run the way they should.
Investigators say the fire isn't suspicious, indicating they've found evidence of an electrical fault in the warehouse. Demolition should begin next week. Kate McGrath, 10 News.
Rehab. News you need.